John Lott. I got John Lott joins me. John, I got a bunch of things to go through that you're especially. I want to start with because Rachel Maddow's all weirded out about the convergence, as she should be, right? The convergence of the new census, the mid-decade census we're going to do with a real count and no illegal aliens in it, coupled with President Trump, this executive order is going to come out for mail-in ballots. Right, plus the redistricting. Let's go to the mail-in ballots. I know you're working on something right now. Help President Trump out. He's writing an executive order. What is John Lott's solution to this mail-in ballot problem? Because President Trump's looking for one.
Well, the president's comments yesterday were exactly right on. In fact, I would have been even a little bit stronger when he was talking about what the rules are in other countries. There's no other country in the world that has it with the type of mail-in ballot system that we have in 8 states in this country, where if you're registered to vote, you automatically get sent a ballot in the mail, and then you have to send it back. If you look at Europe, for example, of the 47 countries in Europe, 35 of them completely ban absentee ballots, let alone mail-in ballots, for people living in the country. Another 10 allow them, but you have to have government-issued photo IDs to go and pick up the ballot in person. They will not send you the ballot in the mail because they want to make sure. I mean, I'm sure you've heard stories where ballots are stolen out of people's mailboxes and other things. They want to make sure that the person who's getting the ballot is the one who should be getting the ballot. And then even then, 6 of those 10 states limit it to people who are in the military or in a hospital. And they won't just take your word for it. You have to have verification by the military or the hospital that you will be indisposed on election day and be unable to vote. These are rules that, we don't have anything even close to in the United States. And it's just not European countries. It's something that you go and you see worldwide, even with regard to absentee ballots. I mean, the difference between mail-in ballots and absentee ballots is that with mail-in ballots, they automatically send out the ballots to everybody who's a registered voter. At least with absentee ballot, it's a fraction of that. People have to go and request.
Yeah, John, hang on one second.
Like I'm seeing 3 different lanes, 3 different tactics by which Trump is trying to call into question the normalcy and to sort of change expectations around the 2026 midterms. Do you think that's fair? Do you disagree?
I absolutely agree. And I think that what you're doing is key to understanding this, which is I think too often we think of sort of Donald Trump being crazy over here, being crazy over here, and being crazy over here, and that they're not related to some sort of larger plan or effort. Whereas I think what we are seeing is this roadmap for how our country loses free and fair elections, which is I have never been one to believe that, Donald Trump's going to cancel the midterms or cancel the 2028 presidential race. Russia, as we know, has elections. Saddam Hussein was elected head of Iraq when he was dictator there. Instead, what I think we are watching is subtle and not so subtle efforts by Republicans across the country, including in the White House, to change who gets to vote, how they vote, and subtly shape the electorate for 2026 and 2028 such that Republicans can lock in an illegitimate minority rule.
Okay, he says illegitimate. Okay, here's the point. That guy who's a writer put up a tweet that said, oh my gosh, in cutting away mail-in ballots, they're going to force people actually go to polling places and vote, and then they're going to have ICE agents there, and they're going to put the word out, ICE agents, so that people will be intimidated. Well, hey, if you're a citizen, you're not intimidated by an ICE agent. An ICE agent is looked at as a protector to get an illegal alien out of the country. You damn right we're going to have ICE agents out. If you're illegal alien, you're going home, and you're certainly not going to vote. Look at those people right there. I keep telling you, if they can't cheat, they can't win. And now they're just freaking out because we've had enough of this nonsense. We've had enough of crap from guys like Abbott down in Texas. The grassroots is stepping up and saying, no, we need to do these redistricting. President Trump's coming in and said we're going to do a new census, and we're going to cut the illegal aliens, and they're going to stop the mail-in ballots. John Lott, And the reason the Democrats and Rachel Maddow sitting there, this is authoritarian, is they cannot exist unless they have phony voters, unless they steal an election. Let's be blunt. They can't win. They know that, and that's why they're going, oh, the guy tweets out, this is terrible. Trump's going to take away mail-in ballots. It means people have to actually go to vote in person, and they're going to put the word out. They're going to have ICE agents, so people are going to be intimidated. Hey, if you're a citizen, you ain't intimidated. ICE agents looked at as someone that is protecting your rights as a citizen to get illegal aliens out of here. But Rachel and your writer friend, you damn right that there are going to be people there, and if illegal aliens are coming up there, boom, throw them in the back of the paddy wagon and ship them the hell out of the country. Full stop. John Lott.
Right. Look, other countries don't even have the types of absentee ballot rules that we have. Countries that did, like the UK or France, they got rid of them because they saw massive fraud that's occurring. You know, the problem that you have with absentee ballots is that you can show somebody how you vote. And then if you also have vote harvesting, they can pay you, they can see how you vote, and then they can know how you've turned, that the vote actually is turned in and done. People don't know the history of voting in the United States. We didn't have secret ballots until the 1880s. The last state to adopt secret ballots was South Carolina in 1950. And the main reason we moved to secret ballots was vote buying. That what would happen is there used to be a ballot box in the front of the room, and you drop in a colored piece of paper based on what party you were voting for, and the two parties would stand on either side of the ballot box there, and they would see how you voted, and then they could pay you afterwards. And research that I've done, peer-reviewed research, shows that when different states in different years adopted secret ballots, there was an immediate about 10% drop in voter turnout. Because it turns out that some people, when they weren't getting paid anymore to go and vote, didn't go and vote. And you've seen, even with absentee ballots, this happening in other countries. When we first moved to secret ballots, a lot of states banned absentee ballots or had very strict restrictions that you had to prove that you weren't going to be around. Over time, people have forgotten kind of the history that was there, and we've loosened the rules, and now we've moved to the fact that these ballots automatically get sent out to people. But there's no country in the world that has mail-in ballots, and few have absentee ballots that are even close to what we have.
What your recommendations for President Trump specifically, because they're writing this executive order right now. So if you were there and able to throw your 2 cents in, because I know you're working on something right now, what would be the one or two things you think is very important that President Trump focus on and his team focus on while they're writing this executive order, sir?
Well, I think they have to make it as difficult as they can for states to do it. Now, the Constitution gives states a lot of leeway in terms of what types of rules that they can have for setting up local elections. But the federal government goes and gives states a lot of money, and they can attach strings to the money that they give in order to kind of reel them in and help prevent this type of fraud from occurring. You look at all these things that are going on in terms of Democrats being upset about rounding up illegal aliens, even criminal illegal aliens. All these things kind of fit together in terms of, as you were mentioning before, tilting the electoral battlefield. California, for example, the most conservative, smallest estimates that I've seen indicates that they may have, a few years ago, 3.5 million illegal aliens in the state. That could be like 6 different, congressional seats, 5 or 6 congressional seats that are there. You add up Illinois and New York. There's a reason, by being sanctuary states there, that they are a magnet for illegal aliens. And the fact that they're fighting even the deportation of criminals who are child rapists or murderers or other people that are there, just shows, how concerned they are about losing those people in the population. But when you have things like mail-in ballots and vote harvesting, you allow vote buying, you allow votes by people who aren't going to be voting. All those things go and tilt the field there.